What's good, YouTube, and welcome to another KaibaHacksDartz Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we're coming at you with a Dummy Golem deck profile for January 2024. Now, if you don't know Dummy Golem, he's a level 2 Earth monster, flip rock effect, and he, when he flips up, your opponent selects one monster that he/she controls, and you switch control of that selected monster in this card. Now, one thing that's a little hidden about the Dummy Golem is that he does have to survive. So if he gets attacked by something with more attack than his defense, and he gets destroyed, the effect doesn't go off. He does have to stay on the field. So using cards like Catapult Zone, which, once per turn, if a monster you control would be destroyed by battle, you can send one rock-type monster from your deck to the graveyard instead, is a field spell. Or cards like Wabaku, so you can't take battle damage, but he does still get flipped up, instead of things like Threatening Roar where they wouldn't be able to attack, so you can get that effect off from them attacking. So we'll get straight into the deck profile. Of course, we got 3 Dummy Golem, because he is pretty much the main focus of the deck. Next, we got 3 Sentry Soldier of Stone. Now, this is a great way to get into some of the bigger plays, and to just have have some fodder for, extra deck monsters and such. And it's, if all monsters you control are rock-type monsters, minimum 1, well, this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So you can keep bringing them back if you just one in the graveyard, but with multiple, you can use them for some different effects that we have in the deck. Speaking of those effects, we're coming in with the next monster, 3 Block Dragon. Now, this is quintessential to the deck. Block Dragon is a pretty bossing little rock monster, and it cannot be normal summon/set. Must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand and or graveyard. So you can recycle them, you can bring them back, and its rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Oh no, be destroyed except by battle. Sorry about that. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand, whose total levels equal 8. So basically, your monsters can't be destroyed by anything but battle, and then you got the Catapult Zone to protect that, so he's a great way to keep the Dummy Golem protected, and he's an easy monster to go into with things like the Sentry Soldier of Stone, and some of the other cards in the deck. Coming up next, we have 3 Gorgonic Gargoyle. Now, this is just another level 3 that you can, normal summon. When you normal summon a rock-type monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this is good for the extra deck plays. It's just an easy way to get in another rock monster that's level 3. Same with the next card we have, which is 2 Pyramid Hunter. And it's if a field spell card is face up on the field, you can normal summon 1 rock-type monster in addition to your normal summon/set. And you can only gain this effect once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can blah, 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 target a tier midfield spell. That part's not really important. But he is another level 3 that we can kind of engine out and combo out with some of the plays we got. Next, we got 2 Doki Doki. And this card is, you can discard 1 rock-type monster and special summon from your deck 1 rock-type monster that has the same original attribute and level as that monster in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. So with other level 2 rocks in the deck, you can use this to get out into the Dummy Golem because he is level 2. And it is, you can get them in face-down, so it is a way to get into Dummy Golem. But it is a way to get those level 3s out or anything else. You can even get rid of a Doki Doki if you have 1 in your hand to, activate the effect of another one to bring out whatever else you need. So he's a pretty versatile little card, especially when you got different levels in the deck. Next, we got 2 Katorian, the Hidden Gem of the Seafront. I'm not sure if I said that right, but, during, sorry, you can discard this card. You can normal summon 1 earth or water monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon/set. You can only gain this card effect once per turn. And if you control an earth and water monsters, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So there is some water rock monsters that would be good in the deck, but I'm working around that, seeing what works in the deck. But if I did have some more of those, it'd be a good way to discard them, get an extra normal summon / set, then you can bring him out if you have an earth and a water rock monster, and then you can still hit off with the plays like Century Soldier of Stone, and, you know, like the Gorgonic Gargoyle and such. It is a lot of just testing out kind of rock play combos and seeing what's working. Next, we got just a bunch of different singles for testing stuff out. The Neospatian Grand Mole at the start of the damage step. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can return that monster and this card to the hand. So it is a little way of clearing out the field that isn't destruction. Next, we got the Aroma Jar. Basically just a Marshmallow that gives you life points instead of dealing damage. But it's a rock monster, so it is worth it, you know what I mean? It's a little defense piece. Could give you some life points, so I thought I'd try it out in the deck. Next, we got the Fortress Warrior. This was just something I threw in for fun. You know, he's not even a rock monster, but I thought it's just a cool little tech piece to have in. But it's you take no battle damage from battles involving this card, and once per turn, if this card will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. I thought it'd be something fun to just have in the deck. Next, we got Yugioh the Gravity Ninja. He is also a level 8, so what we can do is discard one of our block dragons to use the Doki Doki effect to bring him out. And it's if this card is normal summon / special summoned or flip face up, you can target up to 2 face up monsters on the field and change them to face down defense position. And if you do, any opponent's monsters that were flipped down by this effect cannot change their battle positions. So he's a great way to, you know, lock down some monsters. And it's also if a monster on the field is flipped face up while this card is face up on the field, except during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So if they are flipping anything up, or if you're flipping some stuff up, like the Aroma Jar, you know, your Dummy Golem, he's a great way to pop some stuff and or to just, you know, maybe reset the Dummy Golem, whatever plays you need to do. Well, I guess you wouldn't really be resetting it, the Dummy Golem, so more the Aroma Jar. Next, we got the Prime Mineral Manstrong. He's another level 8, so it works the same kind of stuff, but it's you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a spell, and during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was destroyed by your opponent's effect while it was set on your field, you can special summon this card, then add one monster from your graveyard to your hand. So he's a good way to recycle some stuff, maybe a Dummy Golem or something else you want to just bring back out. Plus, he's got some decent defense, and he's also a level 8, so same thing with Block Dragon or Yugioh the Gravity Ninja. You can Doki Doki him off, or use Doki Doki to bring him out. Next, we got the Rock Band Xeno Guitar. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one rock monster in your graveyard except Rock Band Xeno Guitar and add it to your hand. Then place one card from your hand on top of the deck. If this card is banished from the field or graveyard, you can send one rock monster from your deck to the graveyard. So that's more the effect we're working to play with. The first effect is, you know, maybe, but the second effect is really good for if we're sending him with Block Dragon, we can get something else into the graveyard, like another Century Soldier of Stone, so we can continue plays. Lastly, we just have an Effect Veiler, you know, to stop those opponents' effects. A lot of these monsters can be worked out. I'm just kind of testing out some different rock monsters, seeing what their plays are like. But that is the bulk of the monsters there, or all of the monsters, really. Next, with spells, we got 3 Catapult Zone. Already mentioned this one. You know, you can send a rock-type monster to the graveyard, so you can go into those Block Dragon plays a little bit easier, either sending him there so you can use him, or sending cards there so you can use them from your hand. So with that, it's very helpful for just defending all your monsters and the Dummy Golem. Next, we got 1 Terraforming for searching out the Catapult Zone. Next, we got Demise of the Land, and this card is activate only when your opponent special summons a monster. Select 1 field spell from your deck and activate it. So this works pretty well, especially if they do it on your turn, or if you have, it almost works a bit better than Metaverse because you know they're going to be special summoning, and all we're using it for is Catapult Zone. So it's really just saving it for the battle phase. Next, we got a Foolish Burial. This is just so we can send those Century Soldiers of Stone or anything else to maybe pop off. Same with the Block Dragon. And a Monster Reborn, just so you can tech off into whatever plays, or if they have something nice you want to steal. And that does it for the spells. Next, we'll move on to the traps here. You're running 3 Waboku. Like I said before, the only thing your monsters are going to be destroyed by is battle if you got that Block Dragon out. So the Waboku helps to stop that from happening, especially if you're trying to activate that Dummy Golem, or maybe you don't have the Block Dragon out yet, and this is just some stall power. Next, we got 1 Heavy Storm Duster, just to get rid of, spells and traps. Easy stuff. Next, we have an Evenly Matched. This is just a little slow down power for your enemy, to try and stop them. You're not going to have too many cards on the field, so it's most likely you can get this off. And of course, it's a great just a great card in general. Next, we have Peaceful Burial. This is just the extension of Foolish Burial, just to get something into the graveyard so you can pop that effect off. Obviously, you could just do it on their turn and get stuff in the grave. There can only be 1. If we take out the Fortress guy, like I said, it'd basically just be, for the most part, at least the main deck, it would all be rock monsters. But I'm still, just testing stuff out. This is the first iteration of the deck. So I think there can only be 1. Works pretty well, especially if they're all rock. Once I figure that out a bit more. And then just for a little bit of draw power, we threw in the Reckless Greed. Works pretty well. If they were more dark monsters, you could maybe Allure of Darkness, but there really only is like the Gargonic Gargoyle, I'm pretty sure. So this works out pretty well. And that is all the traps. Next, we'll move into the extra deck. The main bulk, the monsters you're really trying to get out, is the Gorgonic Guardian, which we're running 2 of. You could run 3. I don't have the extra deck complete for this yet, so we're just running kind of what works. But it is, once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material, and then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and if it does, its effects are negated. These effects last until the end of the turn, and also once per turn you can target 1 monster on the field with 0 attack and destroy it. So, it's a pretty decent little effect to pop off, and you could also use both of them if you can drop both of them on the field at the same time. It's not that hard once per turn, so you can pop off their effects twice. That is, like I said, the bulk of it, because there is mostly level 3s, and that's what a lot of the plays are going for. But we do have some extra little stuff and some plans for future stuff. Next, we got the Ani Bumaro Soul Sweeper, sorry. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it until your opponent's end phase, and if this card in its owner's control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can target banished monsters up to the number of materials this card had and shuffle them into the deck. So, if you can get this out, maybe with the Doki Doki or some of the other level 2s, it is a great way to recycle some of the monsters that you used for Block Dragon into the deck again. So it's a great way to get those monsters back. And, he's not too bad. 1900 attack, 1600 defense. It's okay-ish. Like I said, I'd like to have a bit more rock monsters in the extra deck, and it needs to be planned out a bit more, but we have a few decent little plays in here. Next, we got number 96, the Dark Mist. Once per battle, when an attack is declared involving this card and opponent's monster, quick effect, he can detach a material and half that opponent's monster's attack, and this card gains that attack. So basically, he's just something to get over attack no matter what. A little bonus in the extra deck. You never know. Next, we got the Star Mine. You can only special summon Star Mine once per turn. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an attack or a card effect, or an opponent's attack or card effect, take 2,000 damage, then inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. So it's kind of like a Ring of Destruction. And same thing with its second effect. If a monster in this card's adjacent zone is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect, destroy this card. If you do, take 2,000 damage, inflict 2,000 damage. So, you know, you can pop him. You can be popped off pretty easy. Obviously, you could just bring him out defense no matter what when he leaves the field. So it is just a way to get into some burn damage. The only way right now we could get into him is with Effect Veiler as a tuner, which isn't really ideal. But there is cards like Adamancipator Seeker, I believe, is something I'm looking into, and it's like a level 2 tuner. And there's some other Adamancipator cards, because a lot of them are rock. So looking into those as well, like I said, to make the plays a bit stronger. Next, we just got an Underclock Taker. 2 effect monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster this card points to, and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. The opponent's target loses attack equal to the attack of this monster, or that it points to, until the end of the turn. So another way to kind of just get over stuff. Lastly, we got a Barricade Board Blocker. You know, this is just to help out with any face-up spells we have, but mostly just the Catapult Zone. I don't think there's too much else it's really running with. But, like I said, it is useful. And it is a good way to possibly, if you need to, recycle some cards. So that pretty much covers it for the deck so far. Like I said, I'd like to get a bit more rock monsters. Kind of figure out the plays. I'm working with the, you know, like the Rockman Xeno Guitar, I think is really useful and could be a bit bigger. The little fish guy, I forget what his name is, the blue water one. There's a couple different plays that could be advantageous to work with. But so far, the Dummy Golem deck is looking pretty good. Let me know if you think there's anything I missed or any plays that you think could boost the deck up. I think I'll have another profile real soon, probably in the next coming months when I get a bit more cards for it and make it a little more streamlined. But for now, it's pretty good. If you haven't seen some of my other profiles, make sure to check them out. You know, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell. And thanks for watching. Peace.